Hey horror fans, welcome back to another episode of Terror Talk where I discuss creepy clips online. The original horror music that you hear in these videos is composed by me. I am also a huge horror movie fan, so if you'd like my top 5 horror movie recommendations and frequent horror movie reviews sent straight to your email, check the pinned comment below after watching. I also have another free gift that will inspire that creepy side of your imagination. Now let's get into it and have some fun.
It was Halloween night, 2016. I was tasked by my parents to hand out candies to all the kids for the day. My mom bought 1,000,000 bags of candy that I knew we'd have left over for weeks, and I'd be the one regrettably munching on them for days, if not weeks to come,
Oh man, that just sounds so much fun, doesn't it? Let me know if that sounds like a good time to you because I love candy. And I love sugar. And if I don't contain myself, it's not a good thing. But having that much candy left over, I would be in a world of hurt. Honestly. And somehow I haven't had cavities in quite some time. And that's only because I know how to take care of my teeth, but I do eat quite a bit of sugar. And let me know if you eat a lot of sugar in the comments below because I absolutely just love sugar. I love candy, sugar, chocolate, gummies. I love it all. Except dark chocolate. I do not like dark chocolate, but yeah, that's just a little fun fact about myself.
as I was trying to lose weight. I always told my mom she went way overboard with the candies. The house was in a cul-de-sac on a dead end. We hardly got any trick-or-treaters usually. However, we did have some loyal kids who'd always come to our house knowing how much candy we'd give. Halloween was on a Monday this year. I was in college. I conveniently had Mondays and Wednesdays off this semester. So the first half of the day, I went to the gym and then worked on my assignments for class. It was always around 4 p.m. that the sound of kids outside would indicate that trick-or-treaters were out. The first time the doorbell rang was, I guess, somewhere between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. The day went as you'd expect. There's nothing interesting about handing out candies all day to little kids and my dog Vito barking like crazy every time the doorbell rang. I'd say from the first trick-or-treater to 8 p.m., there were maybe 10 to 15 total. As I said, that cul-de-sac was out of the way for people to come. It was more effective for trick-or-treaters to pass it and just keep going straight. It being a Monday night, things quieted down much earlier than usual, I'd say. I got enough homework done, I put a dent in my projects, and so I had some of my mom's leftover stew and went to my room to watch Game of Thrones. I was literally 2 episodes in when I heard the unexpected sound of the doorbell. Vito started barking again. I looked at the clock and it had to be like 9:30. This was definitely beyond the cutoff time for trick-or-treaters. I went downstairs to the front door.
I always say, if you hear the doorbell ring after 9 p.m., or, I don't know, maybe even 8 p.m., then it's generally not a good sign and just don't answer it, because 9:30, that is definitely a red flag, and I would not answer the door after 9:30. I would probably just, I don't know, I guess, hide somewhere or draw the blinds, but then again, I feel like I would be really afraid of someone walking around to the back of my house and looking in through the window, because I have a sliding glass door that you can easily see into from the backyard. So that would be a fear of mine if I heard the doorbell, if I just ignored it late at night. But how would you handle it? Let me know in the comments.
And opened it. On the other side of the glass storm door was a very tall man in a clown costume with a very scary-looking mask. I knew it was a man just based off the frame of the person. He was alone. He waved at me and then pointed at the brown sack he was holding. It looked basically empty. I didn't open the storm door. I just said through it, "Sorry, we don't have any more candy," and slammed the door shut. I locked it right away.
That would be super
I
creepy,
instantly
wouldn't it?
regretted opening the door.
A clown?
I genuinely thought it was just some kid or an unfortunate mother or father who worked late and wanted to get some last-minute trick-or-treating in with their kids. Whoever I just saw on our stoop was not a kid. Hell, it didn't even look like a teenager. The frame of this person was massive, and the clown costume just made him look even bigger. Thankfully, I didn't grab the candy bag before opening the door, so he couldn't see that I was lying. I hovered by the door for a bit just to listen and see if I'd hear footsteps walking away. But not only did I not hear him walk away, he rang the doorbell again. Vito once again started going ballistic. Vito's a rat terrier. His bark is not intimidating, nor would he ever actually defend the home from an intruder.
Yeah, the fact that he's not leaving is definitely alarming. And he's being very persistent, but I mean, a clown of all things. Clowns are very creepy, I think, in my opinion. Or they definitely can be. And I don't know why they're associated with horror so much, like they're supposed to be a fun thing, but yeah, they're always associated with horror. And it is alarming that he keeps ringing the doorbell.
I picked him up and carried him upstairs after turning off the lights downstairs. This was my half-assed attempt at getting him to think I was absolutely never opening that door again tonight. I put Vito in my room and shut the door so he wouldn't keep barking. I stood at the top of the stairs listening, and then I heard through the front door, the storm door being forced open, like there was a loud snap implying that the latch may have been broken from force. I then heard both knocks on the front door, and then the doorknob moving around. At this point, I decided to hide my room. I was incredibly unsettled. I texted my family group chat about what was going on. No one answered, though. Of course. I knew that whoever that was had to get bored. I would have texted all my guy friends asking who it was, but all my guy friends are short. I resumed the episode I was watching. I was truly just trying to pretend he wasn't there.
And why do these people not call the police in this situation? Like, if someone is trying to get into my house, I'd be calling the police instantly. And I don't know. It almost makes me question, is this particular story real? Because it's weird how she doesn't call the police right away.
What else was I to do? The doorbell rang once again, though. This was a nightmare. I kept telling Vito to shush. I had my blinds closed, too. I didn't want that fucking clown knowing what room I was in. I tried calling my dad, but he didn't pick up. I called my brother, who picked up saying he wasn't alone, and I knew that meant he was with a girl. I told him check my texts. There's some guy dressed as a clown at the door, and he won't go away. My brother said it's a Halloween prank and to just ignore it. He seemed like he was in a hurry to get off the phone, so I hung up. I hoped he was right. It honestly made the most sense to be a prank. So after a few more minutes of sitting on the edge of my bed, anxious, the doorbell did not ring again. I finally felt safe to relax again and lay back down. I started drifting away slowly, so I turned off the TV to allow complete silence and darkness in the room. And very shortly after that, I drifted to sleep. I don't even think I was asleep long enough to enter REM state and have a dream when I woke up to Tito growling and quietly barking, as he would do when he was waiting for approval from one of us. I told him to be quiet, and he stopped. I looked to see what he was looking at. He was looking at the window. I listened. There was a sound coming from right outside the window. The slightest thumping sounds. And I could almost swear the sound of something rubbing on the window. My bedroom was on the second floor of the house. It's not like anyone could be outside my window, but I wondered what it was. I got up and pushed open the blind on my window, and boy was I wrong. That man dressed as a clown was at my window. All I could see was that horrific mask on the other side of the glass. He tilted his head as he looked at me, screaming my lungs out. Tito didn't even bark from what I remember, or maybe I just blocked everything else out.
That would be so terrifying, wouldn't it? You know, real or not, and I'm sure some of these stories are not real. I'm sure that some people just submit fake stories just to get attention. But this is kind of seeming more real than I think about it. But that would be just absolutely terrifying. Honestly. Just to see a clown at your window tilting its head. And, she's right. Anyone in that situation would scream bloody murder, honestly, because that is just absolutely terrifying.
I ran with my phone out of my room and to my parents' bedroom, where I locked the door and dialed 911. I was too shook to even cry.
Okay, now she calls
My whole
911.
body was shaking and my voice was trembling as I spoke to the 911 operator. I must have asked the operator once every 20 seconds to get the police to hurry up. She'd tell me the same thing every time. They're coming as fast as they can. The police got to the house in roughly 10 minutes. They examined the exterior of the house to look for any attempted entry points. All they found was that the latch on the front storm door was broken like I figured, and leaned against the side of the house by my bedroom window was my dad's ladder. That man went into our storage shed outside and found my dad's ladder to use to climb up to my window. To avoid this going any further, I went to go sleep at my guy friend Adam's house. To this day, I don't know if this was just a sick prank purposely played on Halloween, or if there was about to be a horrible crime committed with the sick novelty of it being Halloween.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think this was just a prank? Or do you think a crime was committed? Because, obviously I don't endorse it, but this would be one of the craziest Halloween pranks of all time, honestly, if it was an actual prank. Because dressing up as a clown, trying to get inside some poor girl's house, and going so far as to use a ladder to get up to the second story, and look in with the head tilting like that, that is just that is a genius prank. I'm not even gonna lie, that is genius. That someone would think of something like that. Now, if it were an actual crime trying to be committed, obviously that's terrible. But I don't know if it is a crime. It sounds like it's more a prank to me. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments, but I definitely think that this is one of the scarier stories on Mr. Nightmare's channel because clowns are so creepy, and if that were to happen to me, I don't know, a clown looking inside my window, I would be ready to piss myself, honestly. So I thought that was definitely a creepy story, and I hope that you enjoyed my commentary and the music, and be sure to grab my top 5 horror movie recommendations in the pinned comment. But I will see you in the next video.